Here's Hero. That one's in, his first shot this game.
Trash ass.
On the interior, Hero can get jumpers in close.
That's why he's so loaded, nobody gets so low. Everybody is understanding. You don't know the money, I think you can't figure out. I get the dough, and I see it from me. From the lane, I'm down on the clean. I ain't even rushing, I'm in the rain.
If you just look up
I shouldn't be running, I'm not bad.
All the time in the world to get that
The Heat making a switch here.
So we can voice this nigga know like I can't follow me struggles like the right extension. I've been a boy, I do this shit and I don't ride it. I'm gonna get to the store, bring a thing on me and ride it.
That one good for two.
Well, he can beat you in a lot of ways. Very challenging to defend.
It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge.
So we can voice this nigga know like I can't follow me struggles like the right extension. I do this shit and I don't ride it. I'm gonna get to the store, bring a thing on me and ride it. She kinda going on my side and do my right. And I know this shit's wrong, getting these first quarters. Feeling for my friends and I'm on Jordan. I'm like, baby, so kind of funny.
He tends to deliver
What we talking about for? This shit's getting boring. This was kind of bad, I made him make it noise. 230s a gun, just see what's on. See what's on. See the one. I don't want to make it say that I won. Now I'm for the chance, I had it fun.
Hey, what?
It's on that must be so good, nobody has seen it.
Sometimes the process
Yeah, this like the bunch of friends. I could live on every product in the campus.
Straight up.
and stolen by Butler.
She hasn't done shit, but I still
So wait up, nigga.
Nicely.
just great anticipation and
so we can
awareness to
flex
come up
this
with
nigga
the
young like I got all the shots on the right. I do this shit without a lighter. I'm gonna get to the store, bring a thing, we got a lighter.
And it's
Gun in on lighter.
Yeah, blame my mom for the way that I'm rocking and wait till the city to cops. Yeah, ain't just waiting on a bitch ass nigga to give me a reason to pop. Told them I ain't putting out an album till they give me a reason to drop. Yeah, like it, and I ain't going nowhere. Niggas still got city in Charlotte. Yeah, pull it up, parking 2 million for car from the sector. I used to still own. Pull it up, parking 2 million for car from the sector. I used to still own. Let's go. Every time niggas y'all niggas. For you hello niggas, I know. Let's go. He was hounding this nigga, man. He wasn't selling his soul. Fuck that, I ain't pulled off. Now I'm good again. Standing on business, no good again. Standing on business, no truth. Niggas, the bitches want me to come put it in. Yeah, bust down part in the middle of her. Yeah, and I'm finna come give it to her. I'm working, no time to spend it on rush. Some y'all not niggas, I still got a tree full of ass. No longer breathing, we smack, nigga. I'm real shaking the ass. And yeah, I'm pushing everything out for cancel. This shit in my blood, we don't think I'll be done 29 I'm fucking cancel. 29 shit, I'm talking about daddy. Wasn't really no more, y'all was dads, let's go. Talking about tagging the metal, I can see someone bleed, but I kept on advancing. Yeah, bopping around on my knees, you know what I be. Play on step. Y'all niggas don't have to see me, you know every problem gotta give me an answer. Yeah, they try to serve me a subpoena before I pay them, I'ma blow up my mansion, nigga. Blame my mom for the way that I'm rocking and wait till the city to cops. Ain't just waiting on a bitch ass nigga to give me a reason to pop. I told them I ain't putting out albums till they give me a reason to drop. Yeah, blank it, and I ain't going nowhere. Niggas still gotta see me in Charlotte, huh? Blank, and I ain't going nowhere. Oh yeah, I ain't. I got your whole over here going lazy. Talking this shit up in here. Looking like this. Oh shit.
Second shot opportunity. Here's Love. This one's in his first shot this game.
And you gotta think every time you don't box out, has a real nose for coming up with those offensive putbacks.
And a wide open look here for Wiggins. It's a great play by Williams to set it up. And Stan, we seem to be in the midst of a big man renaissance in the NBA. I personally love it. So that being said, which of these big stars do you like the most? Well, that's a good question because there's so much talent and they're all different. You've got Embiid, who is unstoppable offensively. You've got Wembanyama with his combination of size and length, skill and agility. You've got guys who can shoot the ball. But the guy that combines the most of those things that I would take, Nikola Jokic.
Marquez can't hit.
Well, when they're playing off you, you have to
I brought that bitch up in here. Shake one of y'all like to build up in here. Y'all got your insides and wheels with her. Fuck out and come out for play, I don't care. I try to be humble. They fuck around and took it for weakness. I gotta have faith. I let go the wheel of the Maybach and give it the cheese. It's all they back on my plate. And I'm hungry that motherfucker. I'm better on eating. Yeah, I'm already ready. Come on. Ain't even speaking. Blame my mom for the way that I'm rocking and wait till the city to cops. Yeah, anxious. Waiting on a bitch ass nigga to give me a reason to pop. Grateful. Told him I ain't putting out albums till they give me a reason to drop. Yeah, blanket, and I ain't going nowhere. Niggas still gotta see me in Charlotte, huh?
Oh my God. We're not getting no fouls, nothing.
And that one goes out of bounds.
You can start earning 4% APY with high yield cash. Sign up now.
Get the QuickBooks mobile app. Simply snap photos of receipts. Tap and sort transactions automatically. Categorize business and personal transactions with a swipe. Take care of business with the QuickBooks mobile app. Even in the go.
And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession.
NBA here. The situation between the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler seems to be coming to a head. Our own Sean Strania has been reporting for weeks that Butler prefers to be traded elsewhere. Heat President Pat Riley has publicly stated the team will not be trading Butler, but one has to wonder how long that can actually hold true. He scored just 9 points in the Heat's 128-115 loss to the Indiana Pacers on Thursday night and was asked after what he wants to see happen next. Jimmy.
I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off court. But I want to be back to somewhere dominant. I want to hoop. I want to hope the same way right now I'm not doing it. Can you get your joy back here on the court? Probably not.
He wants to get his joy back, that's real. NBA insider Sean Strania is winning us now. Bombs, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to dive right in because we're not to get into it. Should we expect a Butler move soon?
Like that really does sting.
there's definitely a likelihood of it, Molly, and a lot of it because where this is at right now. It's an untenable state, really at a point of no return. And I look at it, Molly, just stare down, stare off, that's completely opposite of the today. And that's Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. And so far in conversations with Ron, we have not shown any making a deal around Jimmy Butler. And this situation that's transpired over the last month, we've been reporting on it, we've been on it. But this really has taken place over the course of the last summer. It started when Pat Riley made some pointed comments. I think from Jimmy Butler's perspective, is it about the contract extension? What is it about? I mean, from my understanding, even if he were to offer him an extension right now, that's not something he wants to do. That's not something he would do. And the last straw really came after Wednesday night's game against New Orleans victory, where in the aftermath, 24 hours after, from what I understand, as me and Brian Wendell reported, the Heat essentially made implications to people around New Orleans camp that they felt he wasn't playing his part. And what we saw transpire last night in the postgame was essentially his reaction to it.
First of all, a couple of things to the American public right here. Major props to Sean Ferrani. You've been all over this story for weeks. Okay, you came on the show because, the agent of Jimmy Butler had tried to debunk what your reporting was, and you turned out, obviously, to be right. And you've been on top of this from day one, so major props to you. This is your story. That's number one. Number two, let me say this. And this is a very hard conversation, and leave Sean Ferrani up there, please, when I'm talking, because I want to see when I'm saying this. It's a very, very difficult position to be in. I believe the Miami Heat to be one of the elite organizations this sport has ever seen. I think that Pat Riley is one of the greatest executives. He's one of the greatest people. I love this man. Yeah. I've known him for many, many years. And we talk every chance I see him. It's always an honor and a privilege to talk to Pat Riley. Jimmy Butler has points. It's not wrong. Somebody has to say it. When we look at the Miami, and I'm watching this game last night. I'm watching Indiana blow them out. At one point, it was up, I think it was like 107-70. It was up at 28. Playing the end, and Tyrese Halliburton was looking like the second coming of Steph Curry or Solomon Bell, going 33 and 15 with no turnovers and all that other stuff. I'm watching Miami Heat, and I'm watching Jimmy Butler stand in the pool. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? That's not the Jimmy Butler I've known for years. Now, Jimmy Butler and I go back many years. I've known him since the days of Chicago. Obviously, when he was in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid, the biggest mistake they ever made was losing Jimmy Butler. Okay, he ends up going to Miami and what have you. You know what transpired when he was in Minnesota and stuff like that. This is a guy that once played the second team just to beat the living hell out of the starters to show how soft they were at the time. This is who Jimmy Butler is. So he's a guy that will recognize and acknowledge he was a bit of a distraction in Chicago. He was a bit of a distraction in Minnesota and stuff like that. But this is also the guy that helped them led Miami to two NBA finals. And I'm watching this guy right here, and Sean says what I'm looking at. 30.8 minutes per game, this fewest since 2012-2013. Scoring average, 17.6, lowest since 2013-2014. Field goal percentage at a career high, 55%, 58% on two-pointers. Three-point shooting percentage, 37.5%. All right, three-point attempt, 1.5 per game, fewest since 2012-2013. Here's the biggest one. Usage rate, 20.3%, the lowest for the Miami Heat. You gotta do like Ingrid Heisen, averaging 5.4 shots a game, that has more of a usage rate than Jimmy Butler. What the hell is that about when a dude is getting paid $49 million, besides pay options that's given $52 million? How do you justify a usage rate like this? He's standing in the corner. You got Tyler Hero and King Ball. I like Tyler, but some of those shots he's making is not exactly within the floor of the offense, something you would strongly advise. Those are difficult shots that he takes from time to time. But you look at a Bam Adebayo, who can ball, we respect him, but he's not a legit center. He's an undersized center. He's got skills, but he's not on the world. This is Jimmy Butler that we're talking about here. How is this happening?
Can I ask you a question, Stephen A? Because obviously I understand Heat culture and you have the utmost respect for Riley. We know what kind of coach Spoelstra is, and we know what kind of talent that Jimmy Butler is. But they had the opportunity to bring in another major superstar. Why? Are you going?
Pacers, they defeated the Heat last night, and late in this game, this image right here, it said it all. Jimmy Butler, who's expressed his unhappiness in Miami, he's sitting on the bench, and the rest of his team is all standing. Jimmy Butler, he isn't happy in Miami, but don't take our word for it. Here is the six-time All-Star last night.
I want to see me get my joy back playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon, but I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court, but I want to be back to somewhere down. I want to hoop. I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Now joining us is our senior NBA insider, Sean Sharania. So Sean, given Jimmy's latest comments that we just heard, where do the Heat stand on making a trade with Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, this is a high stakes stare down showdown between two alphas in that Heat organization, Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler, and it's become untenable. Pat Riley said in a statement last week that it's become a distraction for the team and the players, coaches and players. Well, the distraction not only has been reported over the last few weeks, but now it is playing out in real time, and it's at a point really of no return in those corridors in Miami. And it's taken place over the last several months between the comments Pat Riley made at the end of the season, the fact that there was no extension. This is a Heat team leaning more and more into Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero as that rising core of this organization. And in conversations so far around the league, the Heat have not shown an urgency on a Jimmy Butler trade as of yet. These things are fluid. They can change. There's no immediate trade. But this is something the Heat are going to have to deal with. And where this really reached a breaking point in the last couple of days was after Wednesday night's game against the Pelicans, which was a Heat win. The Heat implicated the people on Jimmy Butler that they felt he was not playing hard enough in that game going into Thursday's game.
Well, the way that you do not protect that future is you have a locker room that's in shambles, right? And you have a veteran who is, disgruntled, and that's the issue that we have right now with this Miami Heat team. This thing is just like they won yesterday with the Pelicans. Last night, they did not look good. It was clear that the Jimmy Butler situation is having an effect on everybody. Minus 27 last night. Jimmy Butler. That's not Jimmy Butler that we're seeing out there. And like, the thing is, he's following the playbook, right? He's following the playbook that we see with a lot of stars. You're unhappy with your organization. You make enough noise, they find a trade for you. This is not like every other organization. This is Miami Heat. This is Pat Riley.
Yeah.
And these are going to butt heads. This is not going to go the way that I think either side really thinks it will.
To answer your question, it's very dangerous because no matter how good your player is or how good your locker room is, everyone will be looking in the corner and be like, we need the full buy-in, because this is a team that a couple years ago we talked about NBA Finals runs. This is what their standard is.
Right.
They've moved away from that, but I think they also want to protect that type of upward trajectory.
That's what's a little bit confusing, maybe for me. This is a team that's 17-15. That's the same record as the Milwaukee Bucks. This feels primed in a weak Eastern Conference year to have that sort of Miami run that we've all come to know, that we saw in 2020, that we saw in 2023. This is a team that went to 2 out of 4 NBA Finals. We haven't used the term heat culture in quite some time here.
Well, that's the problem, right? This does not happen to this organization. This does not happen to Pat Riley. This is a new era for them to have to figure this thing out. What you have with Jimmy Butler is a guy who is on 2 ends of a spectrum, depending on who you get. We can get that playoff Jimmy that can get you to the finals against all odds, or we can get that Minnesota Jimmy who can, really force his way out in a way that we have not seen from other people.
Right, but that Minnesota Jimmy, that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Now wondering sort of what player, that's what's going to be interesting to see. What team wants to push their chips in, and does Miami want to make a deal? He's made it clear that he thinks his basketball happiness no longer lies in playing for the Miami Heat. Here's what he had to say last night.
I'm not going to try to get him involved. Obviously, he's frustrated. He feels like he's, standing in the corner. He's got a lot of things going on in this corner. For us, the main thing, like the coach always tells us, we play to win, and that's what it's all about.
That's Jimmy Butler's teammates on all that they're experiencing as he decides whether or not his future lies in Miami. Back with us now is our front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, you have had decades of experiences in NBA's front offices here. How would you proceed with the Jimmy Butler situation?
I'm going to give you this designer bag.
Malika, I would send Jimmy Butler home. I would send him home and have a conversation with him and his agent, Bernie Lee, and say, let's revisit this if there's not a trade by February 6th. And let's look at this in the offseason here. I think the Jimmy Butler situation in Miami is a distraction. We've certainly seen that Wednesday and Thursday night when we scored 18 points total here. I know the player participation policy says that a team is not allowed to shut down a player. There's also a unique clause in there based on unusual. .500. So I think you have to make the call. Is Jimmy Butler better on the floor with you, playing like he did Wednesday or Thursday night, or being away from the team here? And I'm not talking about suspension. I'll pay Jimmy Butler. You can pay Jimmy Butler here. You can send him home. He can collect the rest of his $48.8 million. And then when we get to this offseason, if there's not a trade by February 6th, let's revisit this, whether it be Butler opting in and then working at a trade, or as he said, becoming a free agent and looking at his options elsewhere. Because we're in this landscape of free agency here where a player walking away from money or a team going in a different direction and not getting a trade asset, like we saw Paul George, that is sometimes in the best interest of a team when you have that flexibility instead of taking back some bad contracts.
Okay, Bobby, thank you so very much. I appreciate that front office perspective. Janae, the player perspective, though, how do you refocus on stakes, needing to make the playoffs and not lose that pick if you're Jimmy Butler's teammate.
What's interesting is you've seen the natural sequence of events. At first, the team recognizes the tremendous talent that the player is. Jimmy Butler, I've been in the locker room very similarly where I played with a very talented player, and we're like, we don't want to lose you because we need you. But at some point, the moment Jimmy said, I'd be happier anywhere else than here, that's where you say, all right, we've got to make a change. Because even while that player is there and you see the situation deteriorating, it affects the hearts, the minds, the souls of your team. You have to go out there knowing that that player is not 100%. Meanwhile, you are trying to build upon an opportunity like we were seeing in the Eastern Conference where your team actually has a lot of good, whether it's Tyler Hero having a career year, Bam Adebayo trying to lead with double-doubles. You don't want that to go to waste, especially in this precious moment of the NBA. For me personally, we had to make the decision where we had to move forward, with what we needed to do to protect our locker room. And the player actually decided to leave. And it was better for both circumstances. And I think the Heat have acknowledged that point.
Jimmy Butler can't play anymore on this team. He can't be on the bench anymore on this team. This is just too toxic of a situation. And part of this, we're talking about the Jimmy part. Part of this is Pat Riley. He's got to eat some of this too. There's a lot of ego that was a part of this. And this got out of hand on his watch. And the team, as we mentioned, that needs to get into a playoff position this year. So this is part of, both sides are kind of in the wrong, as is the case with most breakups.
Yeah, well, now there's a little bit of a standoff, and we get to see who flinches first.
This is why you book a beach resort.
My fault, bro.
Back in week 7 at game points, Jared Goff completed 22 of 25 passes, threw for 2 TDs. Swaggo, which quarterback's going to ball out more Sunday? You going with Goff or Donovan?
I'm going with Goff, and the reason I go with Jared is because he has to. You know how much this defense is compromised from for the Detroit Lions. So if it's not going to be a hot score, I think Detroit got to win games like that for the rest of the way. We've seen them in those shootouts. We know this offense is good enough to be in the shootout. Sometimes it's about who has the ball last. But I think this is more of a necessity from Jared Goff than a luxury that Sam Darnold may have on his end with their defense potentially making a couple plays.
All right, Cam on the big screen.
Yeah, big screen. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy
I
the moment.
like him. I like the hat and the jackets.
I know you do, Molly. I know you do. Some other people do too, but the hate in their heart. No.
Let me have this one, Cam.
A lot of other people do. A lot of other people do too, but the hate in their heart can't get them to really appreciate style of basketball. That's what I mean. Now, to the point of who balls out more, Donald or Goff, I would just say it like this. I think they both play good football. And it does come down to who has the ball last. You know, I've seen Sam Darnold, really mature into a great, not only quarterback, but also his brand of play. Right? Jared Goff, right? I'm seeing him turn into this person that he's really validated and stamping his legacy as a great quarterback here. Now, when you look at both teams and what it's going to come down to, I don't see nobody beating Detroit in the D. What up, though? You dig what I'm saying? I see these players playing a great brand of football that the NFL needs to see. And my hat goes off to both of them.
Well, first of all, a couple of things. Number one, I'm looking at myself. Damn, I look good today. I just want to say that. I'm on my game right now. That's number one, Cam. Number two, I'm still going to let you dress me. I'm coming down to the ATL. I'm going to let you dress me, my brother, because I like the outfit too. Number three, you are tap dancing this morning like the late, great Gregory Hunt. But what the hell is this? Both quarterback laughing. I didn't know you tap dance. I know you got some rhythms of flavor with you. I ain't know you tap dance, though, Cam Newton. Damn it, here's the answer to the question. The answer to the question is Sam Darnold. Here's why I'm saying that. Last time I checked, ain't Brian Flores is the best quarterback against everybody else. Hasn't that defense been all world? Don't the Detroit Lions have 17 cats that are on injured reserve? You know what I'm saying? You look at half their defense is decimated. We got names on the Detroit Lions Dan Campbell don't even know. And he's a damn head coach. That's how lost he is in terms of these guys, because most of the teams they're injured. So I'm looking at that, I'm saying, Sam Darnold is going up against a team decimated by injuries, and Jerry Jones is going up against a Brian Flores defense. You have to run that ball. You're going to have to give it to somebody to run right. Not that you ain't going to hook up with Jameson Williams and Laporta and those cats. I'm just saying, if you're asking me which quarterback is going to be most effective, I'm looking at Detroit being decimated by the injuries and Minnesota not. With Brian Flores defense going up against Detroit and saying, yo,
which side are you taking?
Pick a side.
We're forcing you to pick a side here, so which one are you taking?
It's been a great game.
By injury. You don't have your top rusher. You don't have a lot of things, but they still find ways to win football games.
I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm not saying they're going to lose. The question was which quarterback is going.
And that statement